What's going on, everybody? It's your boy Liberty here today, bringing you episode 1 in a new series on the channel, which we are calling Elite or Retreat. And before we get into the video, I just want to mention that the audio of the gameplay is about to cut out for a second. Some guy joins my lobby and is playing some music, using some words that I racially am not allowed to repeat. So we had to cut the audio for a sec. But today, this new series, Elite or Retreat, we're going into everything Modern Warfare. I'm talking about whether or not that item, whether it be a gun, an attachment, could be a map, or in this particular case, a limited time game mode. Whether it's Elite or you should retreat, get out, rage quit, whatever you gotta do, stay away from that particular item. So today, like I just said, we're talking about Demolition, the new limited time game mode for Season 3 of Modern Warfare. And Demolition it's an old favorite of mine. So my first Call of Duty, for those who don't know, was Black Ops 1 back in, I believe it was 2009. And one of my favorite things to do in that game was to pop into Demolition, Nuketown specifically, and try to initiate that Nuketown demo spawn trap. Because back in the day, Demolition spawns were the most, I guess you could say, sticky or stagnant item in Call of Duty. What would happen was you would initially spawn, say I'm initially spawning, on the yellow house. If my team pushes up, we have one guy chimney, one guy top house, two guys bottom house, one garage. That is a completely unbreakable spawn trap, and we are killing them the second that they spawn up, just like it's, shipment 10v10 currently. So Demolition in this game is not exactly the same. The base objectives of the game mode is the same. If you're on offense, you want to plant the bomb and have it explode in both points A and point B. And if you're on defense, you want to make sure that that doesn't happen and let time expire for you to win the round. And then if, it's tied 1-1, you go into an overtime round where there's a neutral bomb site in the center of the map. And both teams have to push it and see who can plant it and have the bomb site explode first to win the overtime round. Now, the bomb site locations in Modern Warfare are very similar, but not always the same to search and destroy. So on this map particularly, when the new round loads up, you'll see this. The A bomb site, which is inside of sort of like the boxes area, that bomb site is the exact same bomb site as it is in Search and Destroy. Demolition. But the B bomb site, which is normally in like back hazmat, is way pushed up by the truck water side. So the bomb sites are a little bit easier because if you think about it, the spawns are still sticky, maybe not as much so the same as in the old Demolition, which I'll get into in a second. But it gives the offensive team a little bit more room to be able to push up and actually get that bomb planted. Because if it's in back hazmat, it is literally in their spawn point, basically by P3. And here, all you have to do really is get control of that top right window. Once you get control of that window, you can pop a smoke and get the bomb down pretty easy. I think I'd do it later in this round. And then the second map, or the second game you guys are going to see, is going to be on a Zir Cave, where the bomb sites are the exact same bomb sites that there are in Search and Destroy, which makes it admittedly a lot more difficult, but still doable, as you'll see in the gameplay. In terms of the spawns of Demolition, like I mentioned, back in the day, there was only one spawn point for each team for Demolition. That has definitely changed a bit. I actually flipped spawns, so I was playing on Crash the other day, Demolition, and I pushed up all the way to the enemy team spawn. I'm thinking I'm going to initiate the spawn trap, right? Instead, I ended up flipping the spawns completely, and the teammate spawned right in front of me after I killed the enemy on the other team. And that, honestly, was like mental. My brain cells exploded, to be completely honest. I didn't know what was going on. Another one that happened was on initial spawns are a little bit bugged in this game mode right now. So, same map crash, maybe it's just a crash. I ended up initially spawning at the very beginning of the match with the enemy team. So I'm in the enemy team spawn. I got 6 enemies around me, and then you just see me, and they're all looking right at me because as soon as that timer goes, they're about to waste all their clips at me, which was pretty frustrating. But sort of just be careful of those things. If it happens, just shake it off. It's fine. But other than that, the spawn points aren't just as stuck. They're very dynamic in the fact that you get a side spawn. So in Piccadilly, for example, people are spawning by the fountain exit in like ticket booth, rather than just spawning in like back A or back C, which is definitely a little bit weirder. I don't know if it's just because Piccadilly is a different map. I saw a little bit of crash with a couple of people spawning in like the mid back alley rather than on the forward spawn point. So that is definitely, you know, a new element to the game. But other than that, Demolition is pretty similar from an objective standpoint. You still got to plant the bombs. It's still difficult. In terms of like recommended setups that I would say for you guys, I think smokes are pretty important in Demolition, just in general, whether it be old or new, because it can be extremely difficult to get the bomb down in that second site. Like the first site, like say here in Petro, that A site, it's pretty easy to get the bomb down. I mean, you already have the advantage the way the Modern Warfare, you know, bomb sites are sort of placed. You have an advantage in that first site being on offense, but the second site is usually pushed pretty deep into their spawn, or pretty close to deep into their spawn. So for that second one, I highly recommend using smokes to try to get, whether it be pushed up, whether it be actually getting the plant. The other thing I've noticed though is a lot of people are rocking thermals in pubs lately, and I don't think it's just a Demolition thing. I've seen it in team deathmatch, I've seen it in shit back when that was a thing, which is super peculiar. Like, I don't know, because it's not just that they're rocking thermals, they're rocking like the 3x thermals with the thermal sniper scope. So it's a little bit weird. And so if you're trying to get the bomb down and use the smokes to get the bomb down, highly recommend rocking cold-blooded. I don't think EOD is as necessary. It might be more necessary when you're getting a defuse, because people are putting claymores and bouncing betties on the bomb after they plant it. But if you're on offense, smoking cold-blooded, defense, probably switch it up to EOD. Play a little bit more, I don't want to say campy, but a little more tactical in your back spawn for that second bomb site, and maybe think about a sniper. On a map like this, like Azir, if you're top useless with a sniper, nobody's getting over bridge. Everyone's going to have to push through cave. And if your team is, you know, remotely confident, that's going to be extremely difficult for them to do. So that's pretty much all I got to say about, you know, Demolition. In my conclusion, whether it's elite or retreat, I think this game mode's elite. It brings back a lot of nostalgia from the old game modes. It's not quite as, you know, cheesy as it used to be. I would queue up for the spawn trap, because I knew that I could get a 100, 200 kill game, you know, Nuketown firing range, if my team set up the spawn trap, you know, correctly. Here, that's not as possible, but you know, the game is still pretty long, so you can do it from a time standpoint, but it's a lot harder to do from a spawn trap standpoint. Other than that, it's a tough one. I enjoyed it a lot. Highly recommend check it out before it goes away, because it is a limited time game mode for Season 3. And with that, I'll see you guys in the next one. Enjoy the rest of the gameplay here on Azir Cave. I believe in the first Petro, I went 22-2 or 21-2, which is pretty nice. And in this one, I go 45-9. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.
UAV entering the AO.
Enemy here!
Fuse pulled. Good job, team. Stitched them up proper, that's how it's done.